I'm really excited for this next set because, I mean, white noise against the Feds. This is also going to be really chaotic because white noise also has this really aggressive combo with, of course, the Tetras, and I think they use a Flingza too, right?
They do indeed, yeah, they do.
So they're gonna be doing missile spam. I don't know how I feel about this.
I mean, it's missile spam, but it is well calculated missile spam. It is not the kind of degeneracy we saw before the reflux got got a slap on the wrist for just being ludicrous. It is still really engaging gameplay in terms of like just how the team as a collective function. But I know what you mean. It can be a bit tilting, to see missiles just force people in just horrendous positions. I guess a bit of context, just in case people don't know or haven't been following Looty Season 13. So White Noise are a Division X team, and they made it to finals, only losing to Enleet. So they actually took silver in Division X, which, you know, is incredible achievement and just shows how high the bar is as we go into this Triton losers finals, that they are here in losers right now and not sitting awaiting grands. The Feds were just coming off an amazing showcase of some really fun, aggressive gameplay with an ink brush in the team, alongside some more kind of conventional picks, but just working, wonderfully well. They have their own QR Tetras, which is quite nice because it means that Orion has kind of a mirror match going on, which we haven't seen this tournament so far. So there's going to be Tetra carnage, trades everywhere, being supported by just some incredibly well-played fundamental gameplay from the rest of their team. So I would not want to bet how this would go at all. And just to say as well, this will be a best of 5. We start with Brinewater Springs as kind of a, as a kind of generated starting point, and then it will be Counterpick Central. So yeah, any bets on how this one goes, Spy?
I have no idea because, again, both comms are really aggressive, but that Flingza roller might kind of be really in the favor of White Noise because it generates a lot of space, it paints well, it is annoying.
Absolutely.
So I feel like White Noise might also have a chance here, but I'm rooting for both teams.
And what White Noise have done really well is, they've let kind of the Flingza create the opportunities through decent map control, through the missiles launching. And missiles are annoying enough in their own right, but when you have a team that just see that as like the bat signal and just go full ham, it is terrifying offensive pressure to deal with. Ellis is the Flingza. They're not opting to start with the Flingza, and I do think that's smart not to just lock in Flingza every map mode combo. They are a very, very capable sloshing machine as well, so we'll see what they will go for there. The Feds, not shying away from the ink brush, which I love, not shying away from the Tetras. We are going to see some very aggressive gameplay here, folks, so buckle up.
And like really, the Flingza roll on White Noise doesn't appear in this. I'm confused.
Well, I think they don't rely on it as a strategy for every map mode combo. So I think, Alice is also a very good sloshing machine, and they're probably just going for that more fundamental based comp on this map mode. I can kind of see that with how Brinewater plays as a map, because the Booyah is also very strong. Look at that, Booyah into Fizzy there, applies quite a lot of ink pressure, but the Feds have done really well actually to not let that kind of fluster them too much, and they've got full control of the zone, no penalty at all, and they did have a brief numbers advantage, and they do have a specials advantage right now. Baha flipping around everywhere, shutting Orion down, so this was looking really strong for the Feds, but it looks like they tunneled in too much on the aggression, and look how much White Noise have managed to get some control of mid there. I wasn't really expecting that based on how well Feds were doing in the exchanges.
Yeah, and as we just saw, really good double teaming with the Tetras and the brush. Like, they really managed to kind of space out their enemies. But now they're kind of being forced back by White Noise, as we see that the timer is really going down for White Noise, and they just kind of use the same kind of aggressive strategy, kind of keep the enemies in the base, while they extend their turf and just get more specials, and with that, just get more value out of that. And they actually got the lead right now, which is really, really strong, and really it seems like it's back and forth again, as we've seen with a lot of aggressive comms, because the Feds actually kind of take up their game as well, and one person's actually dropping and is jumping back. Okay, that's confusing because they immediately got camped, so they really are forced back again, and with that, the Feds get the lead.
I mean, there is not going to be any breathing room for either team here. When you have a Tetris on either side with dedicated QR builds, you have Splash-O-Matics that can really support and facilitate pushes. There is going to be suffocating, and it's very much intended to be that way in how both these teams play. That Booyah is scary for Chris, who is cornered, did a good job of trying to dodge, but getting shut down by Orion there, who capitalized on that really well. So White Noise do get a reclaim, but, you know, Feds 16 is pretty good place to be. They've got a very painful penalty to wear off, and because their comps are so aggressive, it is not going to be comfortable to hold the zone. It's not like there's going to be players camping and sitting in mid here. They're going so deep on both sides every opportunity, and this is kind of this is the kind of game that you enjoy watching the most, though, Spy, isn't it? This is kind of what you would hope the meta would be all the time, from what I know about you.
Really, just a lot of fighting and a lot of aggression is really meta that I want to see. Not just everyone camping with the crab tanks, but as we see, White Noise actually gain control back of the zone, and they really just try to push into the enemy space. While they do use some specials like the Booyah Bomb right now to kind of space out that one crab tank that is really doing some carnage right there. The White Noise actually uses a crab tank too, and with that the Feds gain control back of the zone, while they, well, I mean, the map does look pretty neutrally painted, as no team really has. Wait, that was a double by the Tetris. That was smooth.
Can I just say, I love this game so much. In the time that you're giving that analysis, it went from the Feds being 4-1 up to White Noise being 4-1 up in terms of players. I mean, it's just beautiful. The other thing I thought that would just be good to highlight is White Noise with their double splash. It feels like, I don't know if this is how they do play, but what it feels like is they both have quite well-defined roles within their comp, because I noticed that April is always buddied up with Orion wherever possible, and then Teddy Bear is still there, but Teddy Bear seems to hang a little bit more back and kind of secure the central area. They're obviously all fundamentally great players, so I don't know if that's kind of assigned roles and a strategy they have in mind. It has been working really well. But what I'm also so impressed by is even when White Noise have pushed extremely deep and seem to have numbers advantage, the Feds don't seem to get phased. They somehow manage to just respawn, get 3 down themselves and get a reclaim, and it's just constant, like you say. Both teams getting quite deep penalties, and as soon as they start to wear the penalties off, they get another one from each other. So yeah, loving it so far. Looks like White Noise might get a cap here because they have one player up, but with 10 seconds on the clock, they need more control than this if they're going to be able to clutch this out as a win. Look how deep the Feds are fighting, though. This is a bit scary. They have gone 2 down, and if they're not careful here, White Noise might just be able to stall enough to take the win.
As we speak, though, the Feds actually have a number advantage, and with that, they would actually cap the zone. Dude, what is this game? I don't understand anything anymore because it was so confusing. Everything was back and forth. Really, the moment the Feds just kind of capped the zone, White Noise already stepped up their game and also capped the zone. And I really don't understand this game anymore because it was so chaotic and I didn't really understand anything. Like, really, as you said, once they kind of got their penalty down, another penalty was built up, and the other team capped the zone, and it was really just like that for the entire match, while both teams played really aggressively.
I think we're seeing a more offensive flavor of what has been, you know, the meta up to this point of kind of crab tank kind of stalemates exchanges, and you know, crab still has a very good place in the meta. It's still a very, very strong special when you double up or triple up on it, but we are seeing how overwhelming aggression can really get in the way of that breathing room for that kind of strategy to work, and it is it makes for some really exhilarating viewing. I just love that we can't finish sentences without something else happening incredibly quickly. Like, we need a setting where we can be sped up to 2 or 3 times speed and see the future if we're going to be able to accurately keep up in a play-by-play way. I'm also feeling for Majora right now. So for folks who don't know, Majora is our dear streamer who is facilitating us being able to stream and commentate this today, and they're doing a fantastic job with the cam, but having to swap between players constantly because everyone's getting revenge killed, traded, all sorts going on. So thank you, Majora, for helping us keep an engaging kind of scope and oversight of things as it happens. We are going to be counter-picking into Wahoo World here. So, yeah, we've seen this map counter-picked a lot. It is, you know, it's quite a frustrating map for people, I think. Most people aren't a fan of it, but the tried and tested strats do work really well. No composition switch-ups, but that does make sense under circumstances.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And I also wanted to shout out to Medora because he's the freaking GOAT. Medora, you're a great guy.
He is indeed. And as we get into this one, the Feds, again, an incredibly strong start. They're not phased by the fact that this was White Noise's counter pick. They had effect very close to a wipe, only one player left up. And look at this, it's just Tetras flipping around everywhere. Yeah, and the thing with this is if the Feds keep trading, it's in their favor because the time is ticking down for them all the time. So White Noise cannot afford to trade. They have managed to regroup. That is a really good recovery and secure. And now Orion going really deep and making it so that White Noise are going to have a really good opportunity to put on a lot of pressure now.
Yeah, and especially they like kind of punished two players, especially with the Reslider. They thought they were going to be punished, but they actually punished the machine. So White Noise can really get some really good points and potentially get the lead in this. As we just saw, they got the lead by 1 point, though it was close. And it seems like the Feds don't really like this because they're just gonna go into aggression mode again and really push in as they have a number advantage. And Orion sharking there at the zone, trying to get pick, and actually they tried to cap the zone, getting a trade on the machine. And it seems like the Feds still have control of the map, and we see Chris just kind of painting, especially for their base, and just painting for the crab tank, while one of White Noise's players also uses a crab tank. And they're really cramped right now. There are 3 people on like everything. There's the Reef Slider being used by Orion. Trizzy got a pick on Orion. Trizzy is going for the machine, and the machine kind of gets picked up by another person. Someone paints the zone. I don't even know what's going on anymore. They get picked off, and with that, the Feds get the zone again.
I mean, the Feds did have, in terms of those exchanges, the Feds largely had numbers advantages. They had more of the map control. I think Teddy Bear might have just made a really sneaky play and managed to get a quick penalty cap, which they desperately needed to hang in there and stay in this, to be fair. The Feds have been all over White Noise this game. It is quite shocking, actually, how much they've been able to keep the pressure on. I did like Orion's idea of trying to sneak around and get a cap, but well responded to by the Feds. And what I also wanted to comment on as well is Trizzy, when that Booyah bomb was launched at them, no fear, they just pushed forward with their brush and slapped the sloshy machine instead. So I thought that was a very cheeky play that worked out really, really well. I think what White Noise wanted to do originally was use the Reef Slider and then Booyah bomb at the same time, but it felt like they were just slightly out of sync in a way that allowed the Feds to recover from it. But that being said, White Noise have control now. They have the crab tank out. They had a number advantage for a second. Map looks pretty neutral, so there's kind of everything to play for. And we've got 1:45 on the clock. And if we've seen anything tonight, Spy, is that this game can change in 10 seconds, never mind a minute and a half.
Yeah, literally, you're so right about that, especially because there's only a 2-point advantage for White Noise, so this could really turn around, and the brush actually gets cancelled out, but wants to throw a bomb at that, but the splash, sadly, Squid rolls to dodge it. That is kind of sneaky and kind of, I don't know, it looks kind of cool, I like it.
I love squid rolls. They always look cool, even if they don't actually do anything to improve the situation sometimes. It looks flashy. It looks like someone had a good idea in their heads. Feds managing to get a recap, which was quite impressive under the circumstances, I thought, with the pressure White Noise was putting on. Orion just being cheeky. Like Orion, as much as we talk about Orion going in offensively, I've noticed sometimes they do just bait people as well. Like they do their rolls, they poke at people, and then they start kind of rolling backwards to bait people towards them, and that has also been really effective at moving people into unfavourable positions. Feds managing to hold despite a numbers disadvantage, but I think White Noise, yeah, they will manage to reclaim that. So 35 seconds on the clock, and I'm still nervous about which way this could go. This could be anybody's game.
Yeah, you're right. And again, there's only a 2-point number advantage for the Feds, as we see 25 against 27. But it actually seems like White Noise will get their penalty off and gain some more points, as there's only 20 seconds left on the clock, and the Brush just kind of tries to get some picks and get distraction going on, while there's a Booyah Bomb setting off into the zone. They really have to paint this now, because White Noise only has 9 points, and they actually get the recap. White Noise only has one person left, being Teddy Bear, the Splash-O-Matic player, and right now it's full on overtime. White Noise really has to kind of push in now, or else this will be really not good for them, especially because the Feds have a lot of control right now. They have
pushed in. They have pushed in, haven't they? They have not messed around at all. You do not want to be 3 down going into that, and that is a beautiful recovery from the Feds. As soon as White Noise went 3 players down, I was feeling for them really, because at that point they are forced to advance. They are forced to push really aggressively because they don't have time on their side, and the Feds can just play around that. They know White Noise have to extend. They know White Noise have to use the special quickly, and they did just apply enough pressure to hold that. So a very, very good recovery after it looked like White Noise was bringing that back. And this is White Noise that came second in the most competitive Looty division, and the Feds are here threatening to 3-0 them.
That is really insane. I wonder what counterpick they're gonna pick now, because they picked Wahoo World and they got beat in this, though it was really close. So I wonder what map they're gonna pick now. I wonder if it's gonna be a rather small map. I feel like that kind of is good for such an aggressive comp as these two teams have. Because I feel like if it's gonna be some sort of bigger, it would be better if they had like a backline, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Especially
no, we're going to Manta.
They got to I understand why.
I mean, what we did see on Manta last time, though, Spy, didn't we? When we were last commentating, this is where some of the Tri-Slasher Nouveaux came. Okay, we're not doing that. Okay, there we go. That is a bit more in line with your thinking, because Hagglefish is carnage.
Oh, yeah.
What I was going to say on Manta, if we were going there, is we have seen a few comps that are built around Tri-Slasher Nouveaux on there, and they've been particularly effective. They've, been very aggressive comps to put pressure on both zones, with the Nouveau facilitating that through the tactical and what is a very strong kit on that weapon in general. I can't believe we're in a potential 3-0 match point situation here for the Feds. This has been incredible. I noticed that Ellis has switched to a splash, so the triple splash coming out from White Noise here. They are not messing around. They want to crab tank the Feds down for causing havoc in the way they have.
And now they kind of adapted the strategy that the Feds have been using. As we see, the Feds have a number disadvantage, and they were kind of overwhelmed because from the beginning on, White Noise really went in aggressively, and that's kind of the strategy that the Feds have been using. And I feel like just using the strategy against them really switched up their game and made them realize that they were kind of out of place there.
Yeah, and I mean, look how deep Orion's going here. They are going to be shut down and penalized for it, but it is just the fact that is more ink for the Feds to clear up. That is more time they have to spend before they can recover. They have shown they can make recoveries quite quickly, but White Noise will hold this. They will not only hold this, but they will get 2 picks and a numbers advantage. So the time is ticking pretty damn quickly, and we're only a minute into the game with only 35 points of 35 ticks for White Noise to get through. So this is looking very, very different to games so far. White Noise feel like they have woken up here, and they do not want to go down 3-0. They are suffocating the Feds with offensive pressure right now.
Yeah, and we just saw the crab tank being bombarded with burst bombs, and now the Feds really just want to paint the zone. They go in aggressively, and they actually do get the recap, which is really insane because now White Noise has a penalty of 75, but it'll still be really hard for the Feds to pick up because they actually went down and they really have a number disadvantage. So White Noise has more chance to extend this, and I feel like this is the kind of counter pick that really is good for them. After Orion getting a triple kill. What is this game? What the hell is even happening anymore?
There is no fear on that player at all. Orion just oh my gosh, they know their role, and they play that role with no with no fear whatsoever. Of course, Baja for the Feds has been doing very similar plays. That was just very unfortunate about the Reef Slider. I was going to talk about how cruel the 75 penalty was, but it's already nearly gone. We have 5 of the timer ticks to go. 3 down on the Feds again, and White Noise are going to get a knockout in what has been an absolutely savage display of top-level offensive gameplay. And I want to say I'm flabbergasted, but this has kind of just been how Triton Cup has been tonight.
That is really true. Like, I feel like a lot of these matches were really just 3-2, and it was always so close. And I'm really not surprised that we're gonna see another game, because we've seen so many good comebacks tonight, which is really insane. Like with White Siege, not with White Siege. I'm sorry, with the White Noise against what was it? Was it Penguin? Was it Penguin? Wait, no, I'm so confused. Hold on.
White Noise and Penguin went to game 5,
Clicks.
but then White Noise and Clicks went to game 5 as well. That's what I mean. There's been so many, like, really intense, game tiebreaker sets. It's been incredible, really.
Yeah, we just saw that. Wait. I'm so confused. I don't even know what's going on anymore. All right, I know now. Yeah, no, we really just saw that White Noise doesn't really want to lose 3-0 against the Feds. They sent a message right now. They are not afraid to put out the triple splash and absolutely bombard them with crab tanks. And we really just saw that Hagglefish Market is a map that where they can just kind of express their aggressiveness, as we've seen also that the Feds are also really aggressive. And
you just like can't count out teams, I think, when when you get to this level of gameplay, people don't drop games very easily, but when they drop games, it doesn't necessarily phase them. You're never going to see tilt much at this high level gameplay with very coordinated teams. So it was an extremely strong recovery by White Noise. We are going to Flounder Heights now, so this is the Feds counter pick, I believe, and this is what's quite scary for White Noise. They have to win on the Feds counter picks twice, and the Feds are going to have all sorts of tricks up their sleeve. I do not want to think about what an Ink Brush can do on Flounder Heights if they get control. Trizzy's going to be terrifying if they win this opening engagement. They have no fear, they're going deep, but they are only going to manage to trade with Orion. That's still a good trade to get, and it looks like Feds will get the original cap, but with 2 plays up a side, so not necessarily a position where they can push too deep.
The funny thing is, regarding Ink Brush on Flounder, I actually don't really like to play Ink Brush on this map, but I still love this map mode regardless. It's really cool. And as we see, the Feds did have some control, but it seems like White Noise will kind of overtake that right now, as we see the brushes going down, Orion just getting a lot of value out of their really distracting way to play, especially with their really aggressiveness against the splash. They sadly don't get the pick, but maybe like that, the Feds could kind of get control back. As we see, Teddy Bear is kind of sticking at the wall. But they do get hit up by the crab tank. I love how people stick at walls in this map. It's so funny to see. You remember that one, the dualies?
Yeah, no, I do. I mean, the Feds have managed to do a really good recovery there, because it was looking so messy, in their street, really, that I thought it was going to take them longer, but they have managed to recovery. Orion has got Trizzy cornered there, and he's managing to do that. Look at these Tetras dancing around each other. Baja managing to win that exchange, but that was a beautiful, it looked synchronized. Baja going really deep there, trying to shut Ellis down, not quite managing to do so, and Ellis does get revenge, but after taking out 2 players, so that is going to, again, prevent Feds from pushing as deep as they want to, but it does give them the opportunity to. Baja managing to get in and shut April down quite quickly. Baja now replicating Orion's play from before, but getting burst bombed into oblivion. So it looks like the Feds are going to have a good lead here, but they are by no means safe. This is so far from over, I can't even put it into words.
Yeah, and we really just saw that these teams are not afraid to get picked by a crab tank. Like, they just try to counter that crab tank, even if it does not work. They are not afraid to go into really risky play, I'm sorry. And we
I
see
agree
that
with you completely.
yeah, their aggressiveness is really outstanding right here. As we see White Noise just kind of being overwhelmed right now. That map looks kind of purple, and the Feds actually have only 10 ticks left right now. And
They're
with
running
that,
out of time, aren't they?
really tries to get in right now, but they are overwhelmed, and it seems like the Feds will actually win this one because the only one that's left is this Splash, and with this, the Feds get 3-1, and they win against White Noise. What the hell was this set?
I mean, this is the thing. So many teams against how White Noise have been playing when those openings, when White Noise have got those openings, that would probably be it. They'd get locked out, or they'd recover, but they'd recover too late. What I'm so impressed with by the Feds is they just regroup immediately. They regroup immediately, and they know their openings, and they manage to just get them. Like, they did so well. Like Flounder Heights, I wouldn't say is the easiest map to hold the zone on to a knockout, because you've got two fairly large zones and you've got different options for retakes, and you can't be covering everything at once. I mean, a massive GG's to White Noise, who never ever stopped being incredibly impressive to watch, and just a joy to commentate and spectate, really. A really talented team that are consistent beyond words. But my gosh, the Feds, you are taking names here, and you've had such an incredible run. And the beauty of this is, can't really script it. They get a chance to take revenge against the team that just barely sent them to losers in the first place many rounds ago. So it is going to be the Penguin v the Feds for our finals, and oh my gosh, this could. I'm not gonna even hint at any form of prediction, because this has just been incredible tonight. What a privilege to be able to spectate Splatoon gameplay of this caliber, honestly.
Chili, I'm gonna suffocate.
Yeah, breathe. Do remember to breathe, Spike, because I do need a commentary partner for the finals.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear you like asphyxiating in the background. That would be tragic.
Oh my god, I'm so excited for this. This is gonna be such an intense game by two really strong top-level teams. I am really excited for this, as we're going into the finale soon. And unfortunately for the Feds, I think they would have to beat Penguin twice, right?